You good?
Yep.
All right.
I am good.
I'll do this little intro. All right. What's going on, guys? I am your host, RM. Today I got the homie Kwembe.
Yes, sir.
I want to make sure I mentioned that right because I always mess it up. Kwembe, bro. I met you at Lotus on a random night. You was out there with the group of friends, and I didn't know who you were, bro, at all. You know what I mean? We were just sitting there vibing. We were dancing, having a good time. And the next day, one of your videos popped up, and I was like, "Is that the guy? Is that the guy I met last night?" And then when I seen your page, I was like, "What the fuck?" At that time, I don't think you had 200K yet on Instagram. I think you were in the hundreds, but at that time, you were the one person, the only person I knew in Kansas City that had that many, But it was just crazy. I was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, I just seen this guy last night. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But where were you born?
I was born in DRC, Congo.
Okay.
Congo, DRC. But I grew up in South Africa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all my life. I've been to like 8 countries in Africa. Been traveling because of my parents. But I mostly spent most of my life in South Africa.
Okay. What part exactly?
Yeah, in South Africa, Cape Town. I first moved to Maitland. Yeah,
Okay.
it was in Maitland. And then afterwards, we moved to Brooklyn. This is where I stayed most of my life there. And then...
There's a Brooklyn in Africa.
yeah, no, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
So yeah, there's a Brooklyn in Africa. Yeah, just funny because growing up, I was like, I was a big fan of America. Like I used to watch a lot of American movies.
Yeah.
Man, I was in love with Tupac. I love Tupac, Ice Cube, them, and
How old are you?
Biggie. Yeah, I was young, man.
How old are you now?
Oh, me right now,
Yeah.
I'm 25.
You're 25.
Yeah.
So you were in 95, right?
Oh no, 1997.
97.
Yeah, 1997. Yeah.
Damn. So you didn't get to see a lot of that era.
Of apartheid.
Yeah. you got to see like the end of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm lucky, you know, and but I got to see at least the side effect of it. It's not nice. Like for example, like how can I say? It's like it's gone physically, but systemically it's still kind of there.
Yeah.
You know, based on like the numbers. Like for example, like the unemployment, like up to 70% of most South African educated went to school, can't get a job. You know, and 20% of the wealth is owned by. Sorry, my bad. Most of the wealth is owned by 20% of the population.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it's unfair. I mean, I hope they're working on it, but I was just glad I wasn't in that era of segregation during that apartheid period of time. Yeah.
Was there a war down there when you were in Africa?
Yeah.
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 I have a friend who was from Liberia. He was brought here when he was like 5, and he told me when he was little, he was a war baby. Like he was a victim to
War crimes.
to war crimes down there. His grandma ended up bringing him over here. But yeah, man, through him is how I found out that Mexicans and African culture have a lot of similarities in our values.
Facts.
You know, have you ever experienced that with?
Yeah, I mean, I think most cultures and people have a lot of stuff in value. You know, like even when you look at the history of religion, every religion kind of sounds the same, which is respect your elders, respect your parents, love your neighbors. They all talk about love, 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 love. So it's like at the end of the day, we do kind of relate because we're all humans at the end of the day. So it's like all cultures are kind of the same, but even when I'm around Hispanic people, it's the same vibe, you know.
Our music has a lot of similarities.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
A lot of
The beats.
yeah. And I think that's the reason why I saw you in there. that boy was getting it in there.
Man, I love Latino music, man.
Yeah.
It's different, but it's beautiful, man. It just the way, the vibe, the rhythm, man. It's yeah, man. It's something. It's beautiful. I love it.
So you know cumbia?
Cumbia. What's that?
Cumbia is I don't know how to explain it, but it's a type of Hispanic music. I used to think that cumbia came from Colombia,
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
there was a mixture of music that was getting mixed around between Africa and Colombia, and I feel like that's how cumbia ended up
Okay,
becoming what it
okay.
was, and that's what you hear a lot when we're out.
Oh,
Yeah,
so that's come from that, huh?
yeah, cumbia it's not reggaeton. Reggaeton is more like Puerto Rican. Cumbia is more Colombian, Mexican, South Africa.
Yes.
How so when explain like what when did you move to the US?
I moved to the U.S. 5 years ago.
5 years?
5 years ago,
Damn, so
yeah. It's 2018, around March 24.
how old were you?
Yeah, I was 21.
Wow.
I mean, 20, turning 21,
That's
yeah, around there.
that's
Yeah.
recent, man. How do you like the difference?
Difference. America has way more opportunities. You
Yeah?
know, it's sad, but it's true. It's like America is a land for entrepreneurs, you know. Like over here, you can definitely work on something and definitely get it done. But in Africa, you can. It just takes a little longer, you know.
Why do you think that is?
Because, okay, like in America, it's like food is easy to get. But in Africa, food is expensive. So it's like before you think about becoming an entrepreneur, you first want to feed your family. So it's kind of, so you're like, okay, you know what, my dreams can wait. Let me first feed my family. You get like a job and then you work for a long period of time. And then, you know, just like, oh, snap.
You kind of get stuck in that cycle.
That's it, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a cycle to keep you as a worker. But when America is a bit more different, it's like food is more affordable. So when you get a full stomach, now you can think straight and you can be like, you know what, I'm ready to go on my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When so you moved what age were you again when you moved over here?
I was 21.
21.
Yeah.
Did you come alone
Now I came with my family.
with your family?
Yeah,
So-
lucky me. Yeah.
Yeah. So who's all here? Your mom, your dad?
Yeah, my mom, my dad, my brothers. Yeah, we actually all yeah, the whole family.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
lucky
good.
me. Yeah,
So it's always good to have that support system, man.
it does. It does. a
Especially
lot.
when did you speak English when you moved here?
Hell yeah, I was
Yeah.
speaking English. Yeah,
Do you know that's I feel like Africans do a very good job at learning English before
coming.
we're coming because Mexicans we don't do that. We don't do that. We just
Why not?
I don't know. We don't have a good system to prepare us, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Or we don't I don't think we're very good preparers, to be honest with you.
But no, I don't think it's that. I don't think you don't need it. You know, like
I feel like you do. I mean, you don't, but if you, I feel like when you learn English, you get better opportunities.
I mean, of course, in America, but in Spanish countries, you don't need to. Because, for example, Americans can speak Spanish, white Americans, and black Americans can speak Spanish. So it's like they didn't need to learn it because they didn't need to go over. So,
But I feel like when it comes to jobs, you definitely get an advantage when you speak English. Like a manager, you definitely need English
of course.
to be a manager. You know, because if I didn't speak English, I'd probably be stuck in labor jobs. You know, doing labor, or stuff like that. But like,
Thanks.
but like I know because of my homie George, I know that Africans do come to the United States learning, or at least knowing some English.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, were you already done with school when you came over here?
Yeah, only high school.
Yeah.
Only high school, yeah. I couldn't afford to go to university. Too
So-
expensive.
Yeah, me neither, bro. So
Yeah,
you
me
didn't
too.
you didn't go to college?
Now, only year. When I moved down here, this when I went to college. I was studying marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah, that's what I went
That
to,
ma-
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't go at all. I didn't know.
Oh, really? Why not?
I didn't know what I wanted to do at that time. Like, I was making music at the time, but music was like a hobby. You know what I'm saying?
Say a rapper?
Yeah, I was rapping back then.
Love
I
it,
still do. I still rap every once in a while. But
Love
back then, like, it was more of a hobby.
Well-
I couldn't imagine myself going to school to learn what I was already doing. So I'm a little older than you. I'm 33. I was born in 1990,
Oh snap!
and I was brought here when I was 5, and had never heard hip hop until I was brought here.
Wow.
Yeah, never heard it. So as soon as when we landed here, that's when Biggie, Tupac, everybody was really, really going crazy on the radio. You know what I mean?
Snap.
So like immediately it was like something new.
So, how long you been here?
I've been here since 95.
Born 1995.
Since 1995.
Yeah, you're already American, so yeah.
But yeah, man, I've never felt so American until I went to Mexico the first time.
I really,
Yeah.
How was the experience?
It was humbling. It was humbling because it took almost 20 years for me to go back. So, you kind of forget like how it feels. You forget the struggles. You forget all that. So when I went back home, it was very humbling, man. I remembered a lot from a kid. Like I remember where I used to play. I remember where my house was. Like I remembered a lot. But as far as like, remembering how it really felt, the struggle, you know what I'm saying? Just taking a shower, stuff like that. Like it was very humbling, and it really made me like realize what I had over here. Because when you're over here, sometimes you're like, man, I wish I had more.
Yeah.
Or I wish I had my own place, or but when you go home, you're like, damn, I'm complaining about the space I don't have, and like it could be worse.
Facts. Yeah, that's man. I really have to ask you though now, since you brought it up about Mexico, because I mean, is the cartels real? Because I've been watching Knuckles. I don't lie to you. I watch it. I enjoy it. I love it. It's a really good action movie, but I never knew that it's reality. Did you have to experience that also?
When I was younger, no, because it was there, but the violence wasn't nowhere near as it was in the last decade or two. And plus I was little, so I wasn't really like tuned into it. But I know that like cocaine is, so Mexico is basically Mexico's like a pass through for cocaine.
Oh, okay.
Cocaine is brought from Colombia through Mexico. So the reason why cartels are huge in Mexico is because they have to cross it through Mexico. So what happened was Mexico took on the job. They said, okay, this is the easiest way to cross it through. So we're gonna start building a business out of this. Okay. So cartels took on that job, and they created organizations, and the more money that came through, the bigger the organizations got. The problem became when they started splitting up territories, and that's when the violence starts. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the cartels being real, it's there, man. I mean, like you'll be driving in Mexico,
yeah,
and it'll be poverty. It'll be poor people. It'll be poor houses. You can see brick houses, like poverty. And then out of nowhere, you'll see a mansion. You know what I'm saying? And it won't make sense. Like, what the there's homeless people over here, and then there's a gated whole mansion with palm trees, and then again poverty. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's kind of almost obvious where some live or who's doing what. You know what I mean?
So do you think they do it on purpose, like living in poor areas? Like the borders being mentioned in a poor area.
The majority of Mexico is poverty.
Okay.
I mean, give and take, they are how do you say it? Tourist areas that are, you know what I'm saying? Those are the places that generate more money. But when you actually drive through Mexico, the majority of Mexico is poverty. The streets are. It's a third world country. It's just that when you go to, like I said, tourist areas, it doesn't look like that. But when you get out of the tourist areas, it's poverty, man.
Poverty.
Yeah, the streets are gravel, or you know what I'm saying. Where I come from, it's a very small town in between mountains, very small, and we're like it's a very tight knit. Everybody knows everybody. Back in the day when I was 5 when I moved here, and I remember being able to play outside and run all across the town, come back, because everybody knew who my mom was, and
Facts.
Everybody would watch out for each other.
True.
And that's something you can't do now. Like I wouldn't let my daughter go too far around here. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
'Cause
facts.
but back then it was like that. Um, but but yeah, dude, the cartels are very real. They're still very active. They're not all against innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they're. I feel like a lot of them are. The only time you have a problem with them is if you're in it,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're killing and doing the same stuff.
True, true.
But there are events where they do rob people, and a lot of times the police is already infiltrated with them too, to where they end up robbing innocent people too. Like they'll
Facts.
they'll stop you on the road and be like, "Hey, where you going?" "Oh, I'm going over here." "All right, it's going to cost you $300 to get through here."
Yeah, true, true.
You know what I'm saying? It's for your protection,
Yeah.
but it's technically they're paying for protection, but they're kind of robbing you just to get
Rapping.
through.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the same thing also in Africa where I grew up, especially in Congo. You know, the military started to do the same thing to the citizens, like exploiting them. Or if you want to get the dust, they gotta pay us. And yeah, and that's because there's poverty,
Yeah.
and that's because the military are not paid enough. Same thing is also probably Mexico. Most
Yeah.
of those police officers are not really paid enough, so for them to make extra money, they do that. That's why they're easier. It's easier for them to get bought off, is because if you pay a person good enough, where he can take care of his family. I mean, though there will at least be they have more morals and they will stand on something. But if you're paying them barely to survive, of course they start also exploiting people and go for any opportunities.
Right.
So yeah.
Is there a? I know. There's always been military problems in Africa
Oh yeah.
with
It's always.
with what is the root cause of that? Do you know?
That's because allowing they're allowing military like generals to lead a country. Military generals are not designed to lead a country because the military generals means that they operate on brutality, they operate on combat. They're not, like when it comes to ruling a country, you need a person who's intellect and can actually think like the people, who can actually, how can I say, think like a civilian.
Yeah.
But if you're ruling a country like a military, you tend to become a dictator. Because that's how you treat your soldiers.
Yeah.
You're used to like, hey, shouting at your soldiers and making them do a certain thing, and then now you're taking the same energy on people that were never trained to be soldiers, and you want to rule them the same way. So people now start feeling oppressed deep down.
Right.
It's like, for example, like Iraq. Or when you look at Iraq, it's like, was it Iraq? Yeah, I think it was Iraq. One of the countries in Iraq where the wealth was perfect and everything. And of course, then I say America invaded, right? Invaded the country.
Iran?
But no, it's not Iran. It's one of the countries right now that's still in war, with the Taliban and
Yeah.
stuff. But I'm going to get to that country, but it's like they rule under dictatorship. So it's like the president at the time was, of course, was a dictator, but on top of that, he was ruling his people like it's a military. You can't rule people like it's the military. They've never been to military. So you rule them with the iron fist. You can't rule people with the iron fist. You gotta have balance with the soft heart. For example, like you might give them everything, but at the end of the day, if they can't speak,
Yeah.
they still feel like they're in prison.
Right.
They're scared to talk. Living in fear. There's not a lot of people want to leave. People would rather go to war and die than leave like that. And people don't tend to understand it.
Right. You think? Do you think Africa's like that?
Africa, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same way. Yeah, it's the same way. And it's not only that, is that they do it on purpose. For example, like most African leaders want people to be in the position where they are because it's beneficial for them. Like, for example, I did all my high school and my education in South Africa, right? But I only started learning about geology when I came to America. And I actually found out that they actually teach geology in high schools. So meaning geology, they study the land, the rocks, the minerals. And Africa is a lot of minerals. So how come we're not teaching our people about their own minerals?
Yeah.
You see, so they do it on purpose. Where the mostly teaching most African people about business, marketing, or nursing, but they're not really teaching them about what they have. Where
mean,
most,
I've known Africa to be rich in diamonds. That's where all our diamonds come from.
oh no, not only diamond. It's like, do you know that most even Colgate comes from a rock.
Yeah.
It all comes from rock. Cotton for technology, it comes from rocks, and rocks is on the ground. In Africa, they have a lot of it. So if they're teaching people already in high school about their own rocks, about if you take this rock and you can turn it into this technology, you'll start making money. But I don't teach you that on purpose. Don't teach you about business. Teach you how to sell it, but not how to make it. You see? So it's like most people in Africa, they just know how to sell. They can sell the stuff, but they don't know how to make their own thing. And they have all the natural resources to actually make it, So it's like, it's all designed on purpose.
Who do you think is doing that? Do you think it...
I think, to a certain extent, like, I know.
You said we weren't going to talk politics anymore.
I know, but it's like, okay. It's like, we can talk about, racism. It does exist, but it's also class. It's like, that's why you tend to see that rich people, black or white, get along, but they never get along with the poor. Same thing as the middle class. The middle class can kind of relate with the poor and the rich to a way, So it's, I think to a certain extent, it's a class. But they use racism to divide us, Like, for example, let's say, because they know that when people unite, that's power. We think alike, you see. So if they keep throwing in, oh, this tribe did this to you guys, oh, this tribe doing this to you guys, then people tend to not want to unite because it's like, oh, you do me wrong. And they stick to the, like petty stuff, like down low. It's like, for example, they understand that people are emotional, right?
Yeah.
And emotion means it's anger naturally. So if it's like, if I throw you a story, I know you're going to eat it up, like a story about, race, sensitive, which it should be. But they know if they throw something like that, it's going to affect people and it's going to divide people, That's why you see on TV some Latino guy will come, they'll say something racist, and they go on about it for so long. Is because they want this division between people. And then, for example, they talk about, the welfare system. Like, they're saying that the welfare system is so much of a problem, right? I mean, do you think it's a problem?
It can be.
It can be?
Yeah, it can, because it could make someone get comfortable and not want to work, not be productive.
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense, but you gotta realize something is that how much does it take to make a missile, a bomb? Close to is more than $1 million for one missile. But they make so many of them in a year. So how is it people feeding themselves a problem, but it's not a problem for them to make destructive bombs to kill people?
Right.
You see? So that's what I'm saying, our attentions are at the wrong places.
Yeah.
We out there thinking about, Medicaid, welfare, but they're making bombs. Look at, for example, Ukraine. Right now, of course, they're going through a war, and more people from Ukraine are coming, of course, to America. And they're providing with food stamp and, housing and stuff like that. But all this time they were saying that it's a problem. It's only a problem when a certain race does it, but it's not a problem if the other race does it.
Yeah. What a lot of people emphasize is that there's a lot of veterans on the street that aren't getting the help that they deserve.
Yeah.
But a lot of immigrants are being housed. It's a fucked up situation, but like veterans, a lot of veterans are on the street because of mental issues.
Yeah.
From war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the way I look at it is like, who caused, like, you guys sent them to war.
Yeah.
You're the reason why these guys
I like that.
have mental issues, because you put them in that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, And the reason they can't get the help they need is because they have mental issues. They don't know where to look. They kind of have to go get picked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And a lot of immigrants aren't coming from that. Like they're just coming from poverty. They're trying to escape war. They're trying to they're looking for that help.
Yeah.
You know, if they can.
True.
Versus a veteran who's sick. You know what I'm saying?
See, but at the end of the day, they use it to divide us. They use it on purpose, like, oh, your tax dollars.
Yeah, because they're like, why are we going to do that if we need to fix this first?
That's it.
But they're not doing nothing to fix that.
Because he's made on purpose.
Yeah.
He's made to divide us, you know.
It's an excuse.
And on top of that, even when it comes to the welfare system, there's a lot of other races also on welfare. There's a lot of Hispanic people on welfare, a lot of white people on welfare. But because they want to divide you on purpose,
do you know
they're gonna pick a group.
I didn't know. I think you can collect unemployment as a resident. I think you can. I didn't know that until I became a citizen.
Oh, really?
I'd never in my life collected unemployment until I became a citizen.
I'm still a resident, so I can collect shit.
I think you can as a resident.
Really?
I could be
never
wrong.
applied for it.
I could be, yeah, but that's because we have that mentality. We don't I came here. I came here as a tourist, and then I went through a stage where I was here legally, and then we applied, and so I went through all the stages. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. So in my mind, I never had it in my mind that I was like, oh, I need these benefits. For me, it was like I need to go get a job. I need to have a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. But you have to realize it's like you probably have a personality that you're not comfortable where you are. You know, some people, they can work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their life. Yeah. They're fine. For you, it's like, okay, if I work a 9 to 5, now I want to do something else. I want to do my podcast. I want to do that. So it's like, at the end of the day, deep down, you're an entrepreneur. You want to be better than yesterday, you know? And a lot of people are just... they're not like that, which is normal, you know.
I think it mainly came from the fact that my parents never got benefits, so my mentality was never to look for benefits.
Yeah.
My mentality was just to get it like they got it.
Yeah.
Get a job. You know what I'm saying? Go work, go hustle. And I think that's where the entrepreneurship came in because, you know, I couldn't get the best paying job. Like when I graduated high school, my white friends went straight to college. I went straight to lawn mowing. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because like I feel like for me it took so long just to get me through high school just because I went through that transition of learning English and then just trying to adjust socially. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that socially for a foreigner it takes longer than learning the language to adjust. Because I could learn English in 2 years, it doesn't mean that socially I've adjusted to the new environment, because I feel like till now, I feel like I'm more. I feel like socially I can like intertwine more with foreigners than with Americans.
Of course, yeah, it's possible, but like I believe in like you probably how can I say? It's like you find your group, put it in a way. It's like most foreigners are on the same mindset. It's like when they move to a country. Because in Africa, the government doesn't help the people. People got to help themselves. They don't really depend on the government. So they're always going to be like, if I don't work, we don't eat. My family starves.
Right.
So even when they come down to America, they're still with the same mentality that I got to work because my family is going to starve. You know, they don't know about typing in applications for, you know, food stamp and stuff like that. They don't know that because they can't really speak English. So they only know how to work, you know. So they also pass it down to their children because that's what their children sees. Okay, my dad is always working. There's someone to get out of poverty. I got to work. I got to, you know, make ways to make food, you know, to survive. And then you're also on the same level because at the end of the day, you still a foreigner. When you came down here, you saw your parents working, and this what that's what you know. And then you meet people like foreigners, similar mentality, and you just gravitate towards them because of you came from a similar background.
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
because like I said, we're not trained to think.
Yeah,
Like for the even when I first when I first got benefits, I was like, whoa, this feels weird. You know, I was like, I feel like I don't know. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna have to pay this back.
You know, like I feel you.
And you do, because when you receive unemployment, it's not taxed.
Bro, when I got the stimulus check, oh my God, bro, I couldn't believe it. I was like, free money?
Right.
And then I got a second one. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm getting comfortable.
When I got the second one, the first one was like, okay.
Yeah.
When I got the second one, I was like, okay, what do you guys want?
What's the trick, huh?
Well, what's the trick here?
It is, you know.
We're gonna have to pay this back or what?
But we are actually paying it back. Look at how everything went so expensive.
Gas went up.
They trick you.
Well, that's why I was telling you, unemployment, when they give you unemployment, it's untaxed.
Facts.
So you can collect, you know, depending on how much you work is how much you're able to collect. There's a balance. So let's say you work for 5 years, and then that job closes, and then you apply for unemployment. In those 5 years, you collected so much of unemployment that you can collect, and eventually it runs out. You can't collect forever. So, like, let's say in 5 years they gave you 10,000, so you have 10,000 to collect. You got about 5 months, 6 months. Once that runs out, it runs out.
Damn. So
you
never again?
No, you have to work again to collect more. You know what I'm saying? It'll run out on you, but it's untaxed. So at the end of the year, you're gonna have to pay the taxes for those 10,000.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you gotta do the count. You gotta do.
Did you ever collect that?
Yeah.
Tax?
That's why I told you the first time I applied and it actually came in, I was like, okay. I immediately felt like I got money, but I still feel like I gotta go get a job because I think I owe this money. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Even though people tell you like, no, that's your money, but you do have like it'll come back in the taxes.
Yeah.
At least 30% of it you have to pay back. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But it's not something Mexicans are used to, man. At least not immigrant Mexicans.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but I don't think people should even depend on it at all. All. It's because it's a system to make you comfortable and easy to control. You know, a person is dependent on the government is easily controlled.
I feel like a job is like that too, though.
A job? Oh yeah. Everything is designed. Okay, put it this way, right?
Yeah.
Everything is kind of designed to make us not reproduce, right? For example, a job, they make you work. So you don't reproduce. So at the time at work, you're working. You're not really back with your spouse, reproducing, right? And then you work for 5 days, you know. And then your day off, you just wanna sleep, you know. And then guess what? Everything is the price of food. Everything is going high in gas, but your salaries, your wages still staying the same. So now you gotta get another part-time job. So you won't really have time to spend time with your kids or your wife. You know, so it's like they're keeping a lot of men busy the way there's no time for you to reproduce again. So it's like a population control system, you know. And there was a time where, like, for example, isn't it weird when suddenly when they made birth controls and stuff like that, and then suddenly there's so many other diseases that came with it? Because they knew that, okay, people now would be like, hey, man, no more condoms, fantastic. And then now suddenly... herpes came through, like a lot of weird diseases came through, is because they don't want you to be reproducing. They want you to do kids to maximum, but they don't say it. It's like a system built around it on purpose. Yeah. You know,
You think that they are trying to control the population?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
In America, there's a lot of people here.
But you can control people easily. It's like the same way you have a road. And they tell people you have to drive straight in that road. People will do it.
So I stopped working in January, and this is my first time collecting unemployment. And there's a reason for it though, because I could have got a job immediately, but I decided to give myself time span to really think what I wanted to focus on. Yeah. Because I was climbing the corporate ladder, you know what I'm saying? And I got up to a project manager, making great money. That was probably my pinnacle financial point in my life that I was like financially good, but mentally I was fucked. You know what I'm saying? Because I was my whole life was dedicated to that position.
True.
from sundown to sundown.
How long you
Or
work there?
So I project manage for 3 different companies over a span of since 2015.
Wow.
So
That's a long
almost 10 years.
10 years of your life.
And I did it for 3 different companies. So I got to see that it doesn't matter who you work for, the position's still the same.
Still the same.
Different field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Direct.
And once this company, the branch closed because they lost their main contract, so I didn't have a choice. I had to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? So my plan was to go from there to another project manager
Of course.
because the consistency.
Yeah.
Keep the consistency going. So I started applying to project manager jobs. And I started going to the interviews, and they were just asking me all these questions. How would you do this if this happened? You know what I'm saying? And they just started reminding me of what I just left. And I was like, man. And then I went and filed unemployment. And I realized how much. That's how I know this, because I realized how much I could collect. And I was like, I think I'm going to take a few months just so I could really try to figure out if I want to go back to that. Because I don't think I was an enjoyable person to be around. Yeah. I had money. I could make things happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think like the people that were around me enjoyed who I was, because I was always go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I took this break. And as soon as I let go, and I just said, okay, let me refocus, reheal. My inspiration just
went up.
I wrote 6 songs in 5 days. You know what I mean? And then we shot a video to it, and all of a sudden I'm broke, but I'm happy as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, because you're not broke.
Because I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm doing creative things that are feeding my soul.
Stop using the word broke. You're not broke.
No, but compared to the check that was coming in,
you can say it's how can I say, you're free.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how freedom feels like. It's not broke, and you can use your skills to bring an income.
What makes you feel broke is it's what you put on yourself. And the reason I felt broke was because I owe my truck. You know what I'm saying? I owe my phone.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you broke. Broke for me,
it makes you feel broke.
No. Broke is the mentality. You know.
Yeah.
Broke is I don't know where I'm gonna go in 10 years time.
Yeah.
Right now it's you found yourself. You're good at music, good at rapping. So it's you know that, you know what, I can actually make money out of this. So you're not broke.
Yeah.
You're just in a process of getting to your money. Because if you keep using that word broke, it start subconsciously eating on you, and you start feeling that. Yeah. You remain there. You gotta be hey, I'm not broke. I'm just finding myself, but I know my goal. You know, I bet you got a plan for at least 5 years. You have a plan for, that's why you invested in all your equipment, is because it's okay, here's the plan, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So you're not broke.
Yeah.
You know? You got a plan. A person that's broke, he doesn't have a plan.
Yeah.
That's broke.
Yeah, no, all this.
Yeah, this investment.
It's been planned.
Yeah, it's planned. So you're not broke. So it's you use your money the right way, and you're doing stuff that you love to do. Because I can see you're happy.
Yeah.
You know, you got joy in your eyes. That's way better than earning 6 figures, but you're miserable, you want to kill yourself every day.
Yeah.
You see.
And that's one of the, that's the reason you're here right now. Because, as I keep going,
yes, sir,
with the podcast,
yes, sir,
opportunities appear.
It does.
You know what I mean?
It does.
The last 3 podcasts I've done, including you,
yes, sir,
did not have them planned. It's just that, as you're cutting the path, things pop up. you know what I mean? And it's amazing because someone told me that they said you'll never find your niche until you start.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know when to start. They're just oh, it's not the time. I need to start when I have this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I heard that, I was like, you know what? Let's get it going. So the first thing I started doing was just interviewing my friends.
Yeah.
You know, because I was I'm already comfortable with them.
Mm-hmm.
because I was nervous to interview people I wasn't close to.
Yeah.
Because it's different. You never know how the conversation's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? But,
True.
yeah.
But that's the beauty about it. I think it's nice that you talk to people and you don't know where the conversation's gonna go. It's like, for example, me coming from Africa and I came to America, I had like a culture shock because I had an expectation of I'm saying it right.
Are you good, bro?
Of America, right? And when I came here, it was different. Way
From what
way
you expected?
way different, bro.
Yeah.
I thought if I come to America, I'm gonna be rich. Like that's what I thought. I thought like when I come down here, I'm gonna work for 2 years. I'm gonna have a fucking mansion, a car,
Yeah.
Lamborghinis. Like that's what they paint in your mind. Like
Yeah.
everyone's living like that.
Yeah.
And then when I came down here, I'm like, holy shit, we actually just all the same.
Yeah.
It's like same people, just different circumstances.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
And
I certainly felt that way too when we first moved to America. I actually thought we were rich, but we weren't at all. And the reason why I thought we were rich is because the quality of life was a little better, right? We had a better house. Like I didn't have carpet until we moved to America, and that was huge for me.
really-
Like, you know what I'm saying? Carpet. Oh, you could be barefoot because in
Facts.
Mexico we had concrete or dirt floors.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So when I first saw carpet and when I first saw a bathtub, I was like, we're rich, bro.
bro,
But really, we were living in the ghetto in a small apartment.
you know what's funny? Same thing with me. When we moved to America, we had this house that my father bought northeast around northeast in Kansas City. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro, that house is the ghetto.
Yeah.
But when I moved there the first time, like even like the first 6 months, I actually thought like we living the life because
Yeah.
the house was so big. I was like running up and down the house. I'm like, bro, we made it. This is good. This is life. This is America, you know. And then I used to hear like shots every night,
Yeah.
but I used to think it's firecrackers, you know, like just fireworks. I really thought. And then but I always keep seeing those lights, blue and red. I'm like, why's the blue and red lights every time here?
Yeah.
But every time, shots are shots. And then I remember when we moved out and moved to Liberty. That's when my brother told me, I was like, man, the house we had was nice, was big, you know, better than and this one move right here is it's better, it's nice, same size and everything. But of course it's just in a different neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then my brother was like, nah, bro, where we're staying was dangerous, bro. Like it was really dangerous.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. Well, just because of the way where I came from, we never had that. So here in America, I was like, man, we bowling.
Yeah.
We bowling.
No,
It's crazy.
I've always lived in this town, but I mean, even this town has its little ghettos, and definitely when we first got here, I wouldn't even move there today. I wouldn't even move there today. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely a feeling.
I think I would. I think I would. Yeah, I'll still move back there because for real, because it's like
I like the adrenaline.
you like that adrenaline? Nah, it's just like I think if you look for trouble, you'll find it. But if you never just look for trouble, you'll be good. You'll be good. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right because I live in Ruskin, and Ruskin's kind of hot.
I really.
And, but nothing ever happened on our block because everybody on our block was like older, but like the blocks around us, shots every night. My truck actually has a bullet hole on the top of it from a bullet that came down.
What's causing it? If I may ask, what's all this violence all about? Is it about?
It's youth. It's youth. I think it's a lot of it has to do with. There was a homicide there. There was 2 homicides there in the 2 years that I lived there.
Wow.
Like 2-3 blocks away from me, and they were both kids, about 18, 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro, that's young, bro.
So it's
sad.
it's just probably school, dumb, petty, little gang life shit that they got going on. You know what I mean? But there is other stuff going on there. You could tell.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just like you just don't ask. Don't get into it. You know, I went to my house, and I left. That's all I did for those 2 years.
Wow.
I didn't get involved in nothing around there. I just heard, and you know, I had the Ring app. You know what that is?
No, no,
the
what's that?
doorbell with the
Oh,
camera.
yeah.
So I don't. Have you ever had it?
No.
No.
Never had it, no.
So when you get the Ring app, they actually have an application, and in that application, it's like a Facebook, but it's like a Facebook with people that live around you who have the same app.
Oh,
And you guys
okay.
and you guys can comment on each other's posts, and so like if something happened down the block, you'll know because your Ring app will be like, "Hey, shots fired over here."
Wow.
You know, so everybody's like, and I used to look at that thing, so I used to know exactly what time people were shooting at. You know,
Wow.
yeah, like I would get the news on that app before I would get the news on TV.
Damn. So, what do you think it can be the solution? I mean, like, you live in America, you probably have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. Like, what do you think can be the solution for us to solve this, the violence and the crime in our communities and stuff? How can we improve it?
So there's in the last two podcasts that I've had Mafio. He was not my last guest, but the one before that one. He was from Northeast.
Northeast, okay.
So he like, you know, we were talking about that too. And one of the things I've always, since I've been in Kansas City, I know that in the artist world, like the rap world, the support system within each other is not there. Everyone's in competition. You know, and I feel like Kansas City has that problem. That's why we don't see a lot of big artists coming out of Kansas City, because we don't support each other. We're all in competition with each other. You know what I mean? And I've always tried to be very I've always tried to show my love to the people that I respect artistically. So if like there's an artist and I think he's dope, instead of holding back and like, you know, acting upon my ego, I've always been like, hey bro, that shit's dope, blah blah blah. And I know that a lot of times they're not gonna show me the same respect back, but I just do it in the practice. Yeah. Because I feel like if I like something, why am I not gonna admit it and give him his respect? You know what I mean? Kind of like in your case, like fuck, who's doing what Kwembe is doing? You know, I could be a hater. You know what I'm saying? Or I could view you as competition and keep you as competition and never make connection with you.
Facts.
Until I'm like on the same level as you, and then now at that point we could be like, we might be competitors.
Yeah.
Instead of collaborators. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I only been here for like 5 years, so it's all for me to tell about.
But you're what you're doing is very new it's very new to America, because like influencing started happening not too long ago.
Yeah.
Right? But also in Kansas City, there's not a lot. No, okay. There's not a lot, and that I know of, at least.
Of course.
Do you know anybody around the same following as you here?
I don't look. I'll be honest with you. This will sound wrong, but whenever I go on Instagram, it's like I just go on to post, and I look at my videos, and then I'm gone.
And then you're gone.
Yeah, because I try my best not to spend a lot of time on social media. It's because in the earlier stage I did that, and I started to compare myself, and it was really bad, because it's like I was comparing myself to other bodybuilders. Like, oh, my body's not that. Yeah,
I try to. I do the same with podcasts. I try not to follow too many. Yeah, because I don't want to like, oh, they got him. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like, because you're human, so naturally you're gonna feel envy. Right. You know, because it's just a part of you. You can't fight it. You just gotta like. I just notice it, and I'm like, you know what? I think I should just stop. And then when I look again, and I ask myself, why do I feel a certain way about this person, you know? And like you said, for your podcast, you're like, oh, how come they got him? How come they got the connection and stuff like that, you know? And then I started looking at other people that look up to me, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, you know? I'm out here doing my thing, and I'm inspiring people. And I just changed my whole view to like, hey, listen, even if 2 people are watching, those are 2 people that took their time to actually watch me, and I just started being grateful of that.
So, now that we're getting into what you do, or the reason why you're here, really, you know what I'm saying? how did you start? Where did you start? Did you start on Instagram? Did you start on TikTok? How did this climb? Because I know you got right now you have 136K on TikTok and you have 204K on Instagram.
Wow, yeah, good tries. That's funny. Yeah.
Where did it start? Did it start on TikTok or Instagram? Do you have a Facebook?
Yeah, I actually have a Facebook, and I mean, also got a huge audience down there,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm super grateful for my audience. You know, I love them so much, all of them, because there's times where I was share a band, but my audience, man, they support me, man. They put me out there, they share me, so I'm really grateful for them, you know. And in the beginning, I started like, of course, just in the gym and stuff like that, you know, and because I'm a videographer, so I like taking videos. I like cinema. I'm obsessed with cinema. I love watching.
Is that where you started doing videography?
Yeah, videography. Yeah, music videos, and yeah, and then. But as a entrepreneur, sometimes you don't have jobs. So it's like I got my cameras and I don't have any jobs. So I'm like, okay, well, let me start recording myself before I lose my skills.
Yeah.
And as I started recording myself, I started to learn how to edit and I started enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, the quality was good, but me in the videos, I was kind of chubby. So I was like, man, this looks good, but the person in the video looks shitty, you know? And that's when I started now taking fitness seriously. You know, I started training either, learning about it, reading nutritional books and stuff like that. Went to school for it, you know. I even took courses in nutrition just to understand how food works and biology, especially the body. And then, yeah, you know, and then I just I started posting and I came up with my new workout that was working for me because I hate squatting with weights on my back. I hate it. So I was like, man, how can I adjust it and still get a good result for my legs, to grow my legs in the details?
Yeah.
That's when I came up with my plates. So when I was working out with my plates, I realized that first thing when I recorded, I'm like, this actually look dope, you know? And then on top of it, I'm like, I can feel the burn.
Were you because you're, like, when you do those plates, man, you make it look easy, dude. Man, I honestly, I tried to do some of your workouts. They're not easy. Yeah. They're not easy, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like I love the plates, man. It's because when I get on it, man, it's like I had so much control on it, and it gets a lot of stuff done. Because I don't really work out my core that much, and
but I feel like your workouts are like full body workouts.
Yeah, most of them are, and this because of like as a videographer, I was holding cameras, heavy cameras in front of me. It started to hurt my back. You know?
I know that. I'm a videographer myself. I shoot videos too.
True, and then you sit down editing, also hurts your back.
Eyes like, oh.
That's it. And there was a time where I would stand up for like, I was standing up for an hour, like after like 30 minutes, my back would really start to burn. And I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then this when I went to the chiropractor and he told me that, oh no, you stretch and everything. It's like, nah, your bones are fine. I think it's broken. It's just that you probably don't work out your core as much, you know? And I hate doing ab workout.
I have heard that the resolution of back problems is working out core.
Yeah, working the core, yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's like, it's how you work out the core.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people tend to, you know, do like, what do you call this again? The
sit-ups?
Sit-ups, yeah. And that also kind of fucks up your core because you keep moving forward in your spine.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, how can I work out my core and still get the result? And I realized working out your core, just keeping it hard, contracted, and lifting heavy stuff. Yeah. So every time when you do bench, you work out your core. Every time you do your back, you work out your core. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me try now my workout. For me, it was burning my back, and I loved it because it was making my back stronger. And then I would swing it aside from my obliques, and man, it was giving me the result that I needed.
And you're getting cardio at the same time.
Yeah,
because it's
I'm burning fat and endurance, you know, and control and balance.
I don't know if you, but they're probably not there no more. But I think after I met you and I started following you, I started taking some of your workouts. I couldn't do them all, but I did started taking some of them. And this is back when I was working out by myself.
I remember you at the gym. Yeah.
So when I saw you at the gym, I was working out with my homie Chris, and Chris is a power lifter. And so when I was doing your exercises, and you know, mixing them in with mine, like I felt like I was in better shape, but I wasn't as strong. And then when I went and started working out with Chris, I got more bulkier, but my strength went up completely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when I started working out with him, I was like, I started benching 315.
Yeah. True.
When it comes to squatting, like I'm still not. I'd rather do more like how do you say it? Like movement workouts just to get like
Yeah.
good movement and strength rather than doing heavy because I do have back problems.
True,
So
true.
squatting like you said, putting weight on my back is already a problem.
Is that a problem?
Yeah. I like doing body weight when it comes to legs, lunges, stuff like that. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
I mean, like, I'm not a power lifter, but I do deadlift at times because I need size when I compete. So, like, my workouts are not really for size. They're just there for strength and endurance, you know?
You've gained a
yeah,
lot of size though since you started. I've seen your before and afters, and
Yeah.
you've gained a lot of size.
It's like the more stress you put in your muscle, it grows. You know, like for example, I couldn't see my legs grow till I had to compare. Like, okay, from my first video to now, I'm like, holy fuck, my leg actually really grew, and it's because I've been always putting stress on it. You know, every time I'm squatting, even though sometimes you don't feel like you might go to the gym and maybe do 20 curls, right?
Yeah.
And then you do it, let's say, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, after like a year, your bicep will grow no
Yeah.
matter what you do because you stop putting stress. Even
Yeah.
though it's less, you might even grow slower, but it still grows because you start doing the same thing, you know. And yeah, in my workout, I mix it up. I won't lie to you, I mix it up. I do pull-ups, a lot of pull-ups. I do like a day, I have to do 100 pull-ups and 100 dips, you know, because I don't really like the bench because there was a time I was doing heavy bench and I injured my shoulder. So from there, I was like, I stood away from bench and just started doing dips and pull-ups. So I do like the wide grip, close grip pull-ups, you know, this for like the width, you know.
Yeah.
But I was getting the width, you know, but I didn't have the size, the thickness, you know. This went, oh, my bad, sorry.
You're good.
And this went now I had to now put in some heavy like deadlifts to kind of like bring out that thickness out of my back here.
Okay.
And then of course for cardio and conditioning is when I do my workout, which I move around. And you know, when you do the workout, you shouldn't rush it. It's like you must take your time. It's like
It's a flow.
it's a flow, and you want to feel your body, your muscle, the way you move. You know, it should be intentional, not just moving. It should be like, as I move, it's intentional, you know, control.
Yeah.
I keep my core hard every time I do it, you know.
Yeah.
So I try to feel my legs feels when I'm doing it. So it's like,
That,
so yeah.
That's why I think that's one of the hardest parts about doing the workouts that you do on with the weights.
Yeah.
is that if you don't have a strong core, your back will hurt.
Yeah, but that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You know, like you say, beauty is pain.
Yeah.
You know, like at the beginning when I was doing it, it was also hurting.
Yeah.
You know, but the more I kept doing it, my body adapts.
Yeah.
That's the beauty about a person's body, is that your body can adapt to any environment.
Yeah, because a lot of the times where you're holding the weight up front,
Yeah.
and if your core's not strong, your back's compensating for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Especially when you're like lifting or
Yeah.
moving them side to side, like
Yep.
that stuff's hard, bro.
Yeah, but that's good. Like I say, that's the beauty. Like, if you feel the pain, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't want to hurt yourself doing it. But at the end of the day, pain is good, and that's how you grow. You grow with pain.
Right.
You know, for example, there was times where I would work up my bicep, I felt no pain,
Yeah.
and it was growing slowly.
Yeah.
But every time I really work my bicep, the pain, then I'm like, after like a month, I can see some difference.
Yeah,
You know. So,
biceps are really hard to get that soreness now because you know it's a muscle that I work out. It's one of my favorite muscles to work out.
you gotta switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I noticed that I have to change. I have to like shock my muscle to get it sore again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it comes to legs, when it comes to like core and back, like I can get those sore. I always get those sore. But when it comes to shoulders, arms, and chest, it's really hard. Like I have to push really hard to get those muscles sore.
Really.
Because I feel like those are the best. Those are the muscles I work out the best.
Yeah, those are the major muscles.
Yeah.
And how many times you work out in a week?
I work out 5 days At least 5 days.
5 days. How many hours?
2 hours.
2 hours. And
My problem is I don't eat well.
what do you eat?
Anything.
Yeah, you see, that's the problem right there.
Yeah,
That's the problem right
that's
there.
my
yeah.
problem. Is when I started out, I was doing meals, and that's when I feel like I had the best physique. But since I got unemployed, I just kind of like it's been harder, really, to like stay focused.
Yeah, and that's because you got more time, and on top of that, stress and depression.
It's not having a solid structure has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like when you have a job, the job kind of gives you a structure. You got to wake up, you got to go to work.
No, it's not that. It's like if right now you are getting paid 6 figures for what you're doing right now, I bet you're gonna make time for a lot of stuff. Yeah,
And that's the problem is I'm not getting paid for it.
that's it. See, and that's normal at the beginning, you know, and it comes with stress and depression because it's like, yo, I want this stuff to work, but it's not working yet, and you just gotta keep on grinding, and you gotta like always reprogram your mind that hey, you know what, I'm one step, I'm going, you know, and so that's your imagination in your mind, right? But your reality doesn't. You don't see it, you know. For example, when I watch a podcast, I'm like, man, I like this dude. I like what you're doing. I'm a big fan. I love it. But you don't see that. You just see you putting your post, and you don't see any money coming back.
No,
so
I like when people like you reach out to me is when I see it.
Yeah,
because I'm like, okay, I'm doing something. I'm not just posting videos here. You know what I mean?
It is.
But it takes people with caliber to show you that you actually do have value when the money's not in yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But it's not really about caliber. You know, I think it's you're good at what you do. No, it's like
as far as like getting attention to the podcast, you do need. Yeah. So like I had this dilemma before. I had people ask me, what does it take to be on your podcast? And there's two ways to go about it. You can get a guest that's popular, that's very well known, but sometimes just because they're well known doesn't mean that they have substance.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And you can have your friend who doesn't even post. Yeah, but he has a lot of substance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he could bring a lot to the podcast just because of how he thinks.
Yes, it's like for example, 3 years ago, right? I only had like 1,200 followers on Instagram, and that's because I wasn't really out there like that. It's funny that we bring it up. Is because I was really I'm introvert more than extrovert.
Me too.
You know, I like being.
This was hard.
Yeah,
this
was like
hard.
Stepping out of your comfort zone. You know, and
for me it was hard because I have to know someone to talk to. Like it takes a lot for me to like meet new people.
No, it was easy for me to meet you at the club.
That was easy. But I feel like there's certain people sometimes that just click.
Yeah.
But like Muggsy can walk up into a room and talk to anybody. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't know what to say. Like it'll be awkward as hell.
You see, there's a problem right there because you're overthinking it. You know, you shouldn't overthink it. You know, and I realize that nowadays is that we overthink it. It's like you're burning calluses to your brain for rejection. So it's like.
But I think it's trauma from my childhood.
Also.
Because I didn't speak English when I got here, and I experienced the trauma of being rejected.
Yeah.
And that's why I told you I mingle better with foreigners because in those times, that's all I had was people who would like me. So I would just revert to them.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have rejection trauma as a child from being here in Belton. I was probably like 1 out of 3 Mexicans here.
True.
Majority was white. You know what I'm saying? And it took a long, like I said, that's why it took a long time. It took a long time to learn English, but socially, I feel like I didn't socially accept. Like I didn't really find myself until after high school.
Yeah.
Socially, because after high school, I started not caring. Like if they don't like me because I speak Spanish, then they don't like me. I don't give a fuck. But for the longest time, I was trying to adjust to people. Yeah. I wanted to be liked.
Yeah.
and I wasn't being myself.
Yeah, but I think it's deeper than that. It comes maybe from the house, because like, for
Yeah.
example, me, it's like my mom was way too busy for me to get attention, so I would go to school and be a clown to get it attention. Like, sometimes I would act up to get my mom's attention, and
Yeah.
because my dad used to travel so much, so
Yeah.
my mom was always there, and she was working so much, and
It worked out for your favor though.
bro, I'm telling you, and it's like.
That's probably why you're able to attract this attention.
Yeah, and I got 6 brothers. So it's like all of us are competing for attention. So many kids.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And the mom is busy. You gotta feed all of them. And I wanted this attention as a child. And then I would go to school and just be a clown. And after time, it just became natural
Yeah.
for me, yeah. But like deep down, I am still like, it's like I can be outside and be an extrovert. Like I can talk to people.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Like I said, like when I met you, you did not project what some people would consider Instagram famous. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm not.
But you don't project that.
Yeah.
Like you felt like a normal person. But you ask anybody else, and if they have those followers, their energy is completely. They'll introduce themselves with that. Oh, I'm this person.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But you didn't mention nothing. I found out on my own the next day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because remember I texted you. I was like, "Bro,
Yeah.
are you the dude from Loaded?" Yeah, I was like, "What the
Yeah. Yeah. And nah, I don't let it get to me, because I see it as friends. Like my followers are like my friends.
Yeah.
All of them are like my friends. It's
But
like,
you do know that, right? You know that people consider your numbers Instagram famous.
yeah, I mean, they can consider if they want to consider, but I see it as friends. It's like, for example, like, it's like going to high school, right? Like when I was in high school, I was well known. In primary school, I was well known. People always knew of me, right? But I would always hang out with this group, but everyone else knew me, and I would greet them like, "Yo, how you guys doing?" It's like for me, even like online,
it's a
I
humbleness.
it's like they like friends, man. Like like a lot of people that follow me are really, I don't know, it's just like I just love the comments, man. It's so positive. Even the negative ones, it's man. Like I'm grateful, man, because I cannot say, it's like when people speak, in my opinion, is like when people speak, it's like I'm traveling.
Yeah.
Like when you're telling me about your childhood and about Mexico right now, I'm actually traveling like into childhood.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's like I get to experience what you experience through what you're saying. So that's why I always want to meet people and listen to what they gotta say, because it's nice, man. It's like, because we're so different. We think that, when you close off, you don't really grow. You grow when you can hear people, man. It's beautiful.
The collaborations with different people definitely teach you and help you grow. You know what I'm saying? Like artists, this is one of the things I preach the most about, just being a collaborator, not a competitor. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll learn more from collaborating than you'll learn from competing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the same thing that you can learn about yourself competing, you can learn about yourself collaborating.
Yeah.
Because you'll learn something about yourself that you didn't even know. If like you and I collaborating, we're learning that we might have similar things in common.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And with competing, you don't learn what you have in common. You end up learning how much of a savage you can be.
Yeah. Okay, I would disagree with you with that. I love competing. I'm really competitive. I won't lie to you. I'm very, very competitive. And the reason why I like competing is because it allows me to think out of the box. So for example, like let's say I'm competing with you in a bodyboarding match, and bam, you probably got bigger shoulders than me, and I'm like, God damn, I can't beat your shoulders, but what can I beat you at? And I'm like, okay, his legs sucks. Let me bring my legs up and let me pose in a way my legs show out, so that judges will be like, you look way more symmetry than this dude down here, So I love competing, and the reason why I like competing is because it's like, it's nature, man. You should be competitive and you should compete, and it allows you to depend on yourself, so you don't depend on people, because put it this way, it's like before I started like even posting, because I was so kind of nervous about social media, I didn't know how to use it. Then I was like, I would ask people like, "Yo, can me and you work out and do a video?" And they'll be like, "No." I'd be like, "Oh shit, okay." And like someone else, like, "Nah, bro, I'm cool."
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was depending on people.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let me do it myself. You know, it won't hurt. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So let me and just gonna improve my videography skills. You know, I'll be good at editing because the more footage I have, the more I got to edit. You know, because I wasn't really depending on people like to pay me for me to do the videos, and I gotta edit. That's how I used to learn. So it's more like I can just learn by myself by recording myself. I record myself in snow. My bad, sorry. I record myself in snow so I can kind of like see if I can edit with the white background where it's too bright. Because I mean, you're a videographer, you know how that is.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I just started doing it myself.
Yeah, you got videos in the rain.
Yeah, in the rain and everything. And it's nice is because like I will watch like a movie.
Yeah.
And the rain, I'm just admired. I'm like, man, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at it came out, look at the lights, look at the colors, and I'll be like, I want to redo it, but in my way.
Yeah.
You know. And then as I started redoing it, I started getting good at a little good at videography, and then I was like, wow, I didn't like the person that's in the videos, so I had to kind of like work on myself to where it's like, okay, I gotta be lean. How do I gotta be lean? I gotta watch what I eat. I gotta study my food. But sometimes when I'm lean, I'm like, I'm hungry. I want to eat something. So what can I eat that can not keep me? So how can I maintain this physique without starving myself?
Yeah.
You know? That was the goal. And this when I started now learning that when I take away sugar out of my diet, I tend to not keep a lot of weight on me, you know? So it's like sugar and salt.
Do you ever get that sugar withdrawal?
Sugar withdrawal, what do you mean?
Where like some people get like shaky.
No.
You know?
I haven't had sugar now for almost 3 months now. 3 months, no sugar. And in the beginning, it was withdrawal on, how can I say? My mind was everywhere. I won't lie to you. I couldn't focus properly. But after time, my body just adjusted to it. And I realized that I could lose weight fast because I had no chemicals that's holding water in my body. You see?
Yeah.
So, for example, salt and sugar tend to hold water in your body, carbohydrates, right? So when you eliminate it, not really like eliminate, just
lower
it's a small amount. You know, it doesn't really affect the body that much. You see? So same thing as salt. I don't add salt to my food. The meat, like chicken breast, got sodium, which is salt. You know, it's also good for my body. So I don't need to add any salt to it, because if I add any salt to it, I eat it and I drink water, what happens is that it's going to be holding it as fat, you see. And then now when it comes to competition, I'm like, man, I got to lose weight for this competition. It's just taking longer for me to lose that weight.
Right.
Yeah. Like put it for example, like last week, I was 170 pounds. Today I got up in the morning, I check on the scale, I'm 160 pounds. What was it easy for me to lose weight was because I didn't have chemicals in my body that was holding water. So I could just release that water.
Right.
You see, more cardio, you know, I was eating less. I don't like to. I was eating less.
So that's probably why some people have a harder time sweating. Because I noticed when I first started working out, it used to be harder for me to sweat than it is now.
Yeah, that's because salt.
Yeah.
Salt.
Yeah.
Salt helps you to sweat.
Yeah, because once I got on meal preps, I'm very good at eating the same thing for the cause. Like I could eat chicken and vegetables every day as long as my mind is like focused on losing the weight and the results. I could do it, but like once I come off of it, it's really hard to bounce back. You know what I'm saying?
So the question is, why were you losing the weight?
Because I wanted to have a body I've never had.
Yeah, but you need something to motivate you for that. You know, you need to be like, okay, well, in 6 months' time, I'll be going, let's say, to Miami, and that's why I want to lose weight.
Do you think competing helps you with that?
Yeah, it does a lot, yeah. Because if I wasn't competing, I wouldn't be dieting this much.
I think that's one of the reasons. That's why I struggle with, because I don't want to compete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Okay. quick question, right? You're a musician, right? You do music videos, right?
Yeah.
How many music videos you want to do in, let's say, 3 months?
I'd like to do 2.
2 videos, right? Okay. How would you like to look like in a music video?
Good.
Gonna be good, right?
Yeah.
That's already your goal.
Yeah. No,
So
you're right.
That's already your goal. It can be like...
I've already been on that because we've shot 2 music videos. These last 2 months, we've shot 2 music videos. The first one was in the winter, so I wasn't really worried about it because I had a hoodie on.
Facts.
But this last one, I was like, damn, bro. It's like we gotta keep it from the chest up.
I feel that.
Yeah.
But like, they can be a motivator right there.
Yeah.
Like for example, like my motivator when I was competing was like, I'm still creating content and I still gotta look the part.
Yeah, because you're special. You're doing, you're doing workout content. So it's like,
Yeah, I have to.
If your body doesn't show it, it's like, why am I following this guy? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So that's because I used to do workout content, and but it was just for me, mainly to learn new editing tips. Because I was like, eventually I could, do one for someone bigger that's like actually doing this for a competition or something. I was like, and I need to know how to edit these videos. So I would do them for me and my friends. I would just take the camera. I think the day that I saw you at the gym, we were filming that day.
You had your camera, yeah. I remember you had your camera. And man, you've always been cool, man. I gotta give you that. You've always been an awesome person, bro. It's like you never change. Even if they wouldn't have met you in the line, going to Lotus, bro, like your vibe was cool, bro.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. And I think stuff even for a reason. Don't you think about it? Like, I think that we meet people for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the reason why we click that day was because our future was already set for today.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's like somehow what you put out is what you get, and it's like God. Like, the same way you open up your podcast and you're like, you believe in God, right?
Yeah.
God, yeah. So you're probably like, hey, Lord, this is what I love doing.
Do you pray every day?
You say what?
You pray every day?
I don't.
You
I don't. I don't even. You know what's funny? I don't even remember the last time I prayed. But no, I just
but
believe
you're a believer.
it. Yeah, I believe this is a God because look at we can't really explain this.
Yeah.
It's like.
So you walk in faith, like you know when something's happening, it's him.
Yeah. It's not only that. It's like I just feel the vibe. Like for example, I met you the first time. The energy was great. We got each other's number. We never beefed. The vibe was so good. And then look at us today. We're friends again. I'm on your podcast.
Yeah.
You got a platform there that I was like, hey, you know what? I actually would like to do a podcast. And there you are.
Yeah.
And same thing as you. You're like, you met me. You're like, okay, well, I'm starting a podcast. And I'll probably need more people in the future. And look at us. I'm also one of those people.
Yeah.
So I'm really honored. So I think that everything happens for a reason. We were meant to be here.
Yeah.
And that's why the first time we met, we just clicked. Is because our futures are made.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to when I said earlier. I never this year. There's a saying. Like my mom told me one day. She said, so I used to have a house. I had a house with my ex. And I started my podcast when I had that house because I had a room specifically for the studio. You know what I'm saying? And when me and her split up and I lost that room, I had to come back home, and my self-esteem was gone. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I can't do the podcast. I was like, I can't bring people into my where I sleep. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I was really down during that time. And my mom she told me, she's like, she's very religious, you could tell. And,
Thanks.
And she told me, she's like, God was born, or Jesus was born in a barn. and what she was trying to imply was that, like, you know, one of the biggest humans in the world was born in a barn.
Yeah.
He wasn't born in a big house. He wasn't born in a hospital. He was born
Yeah.
in a barn.
In a barn.
And she's like, look at this like a barn. Not saying that I'm Jesus, but saying that, like, something big can come out of and something small. You don't have to. You don't have to have the right room. You don't have to have the right place. Just keep doing it. But it took me it took me a while to, like, to stop focusing on where I was and just stop and keep going with the goal.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because who was it? I think Muggsy was the first one I did this year.
Yeah.
Because this year's when I was like, I'm not waiting no longer. Like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get another room. I was like, I got to keep going. So I was already friends with Muggsy, and his first episode, it was I think he only had like 600 followers at that time.
Yeah.
You know, so we did that episode, and after that one, I was like, bro, this is fun. Like, I need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because especially when the reels started coming out, I started getting better with the reels, and then Muggsy really helped with the confidence because he came up to me and he was like, bro, he's like, I don't know anybody else that's doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And there is other people that are doing what I'm doing, but everyone's different. Everyone's got their own style.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can definitely tell that I have my own style and I have my own guests. Like, I can pull guests like you, while other people can only do artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I like about being multi-talented with artists and just being in the gym at the same time is that I can bring different type of people into this podcast that can offer different types of things.
Facts.
Because a lot of artists can't do what you do. I've noticed a lot of artists do not have the following that you have. Why? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Have you
know, when it comes to my following, it's I don't really look at that. I just, I believe in giving people something valuable. You know, like, I don't want people to like me for me. I want people to like me for my art.
Yeah.
You know, like, every time I do a video, I take my time. If it doesn't come out good, I won't post it at all. I won't post it is because if I post it, I'm insulting my audience. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to give you whatever. I don't want that. I want them to look at something and really appreciate it and, like, really get inspired by it, you know? And that's how I create my content. Even, like, when it comes to music video, I don't do it for the money. I do it, like, I want you to, when you look at this music video, to be like, wow, he did a great job. I love it. Yeah. And if I didn't do that, it's me. Because I'm more, like, deep down, I'm more of an artist. And I love
your brand.
Yeah, I love creating. And I want to create things that people enjoy. For example, I don't need to be the sling, but I want to be the sling for my audience. I want you guys to, like, it's like you got to be selfless,
Yeah.
It's not about, more. It's not about my family. It's about, if you follow me, you're important and you're like my boss. Yeah. And I'm just going to create and enjoy creating for you. And I want you to always be like, I like that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I feel like as a music artist, we're the same.
Yeah.
Because when I write a song, it's inspired by a seed of myself, of like an experience I had.
Yeah.
But there's so much more that I add to the song because my friend went through something different. So, like, I'll add something that he went through to something that I went through to make the song bigger.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because not everyone's going to relate to my specific situation, but if I make it a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, more people will relate to that. So like, you end up creating, you create for a purpose. You create for a purpose to be able to connect to different people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Our content's completely different because you do fitness content. You do, like, sometimes you got dance videos. Sometimes you got dance videos, but like, music and what you do they're just completely different. Like, the creative process of what you do is completely different from the creative process I do when I write music, because they're two different things. You know what I'm saying? But what I was trying to get to is like,
Relating to your audience, right? Yeah. My bad about that. Forgive me about that.
No, you're good.
Yeah, it's like I heard your question. I wanted to say something that's on top of my head, but it just didn't come out for some reason. I couldn't pick up the words, so I apologize for that. So yeah. When it comes to creating, for me, like I say, it's I try to be like artistic as possible. I try to be an artist. With it, and I don't know. I get a lot of joy when people appreciate or just even like comment on it. It's like, wow, that's nice. I enjoy the process of creating, but at the end of the day, like I say, I don't really create. I create with a purpose for like, if I put a video, if it's for you, it's for you.
Yeah.
It's like I don't put it out there for like with it. Okay, because I like it, I'm gonna put it out there. Yeah, it's more like, okay, my audience like this, so let me try this. And yeah.
I actually think it's cool that like none of your videos you speak. I think it's cool because it keeps a mystery to you. but you do tell a story, like especially like in your dance videos. I think they're dope. I think the way that you set them up, the lighting and the back streets, like they're really like you could tell they're really professional. You know what I mean? And reels are short. They're a minute and 20 seconds or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So you have to give a message in less than a minute and 20 seconds. Yeah. And like when you do your dance videos, like I can tell what your little message is in that. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy those the most because I like dancing. I mean, we met
Lattes Club.
We met dancing, so
dancing.
You know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy those, and I think it's good to like provide different types of content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even me, if I'm constantly just putting out podcast stuff, it gets boring on a thread. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's just talking. So every once in a while, I gotta throw something out there that's different. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to talking, it's funny because this I was asking you a lot of questions is because I don't really like talking that much. It's like I can talk, but I'm not really like talker.
Yeah.
I'm more like I like listening to people, and I don't really like my voice that much. I don't be like, man, that sounds good. Nah, I just like I hate my voice.
Everyone's like that.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So the fact that you got a podcast, I'm like, you're really comfortable with your voice.
I'm not.
I really admire that.
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm already so used to it that I just ignore my voice.
No, really?
Yeah, but sometimes every once in a while, like I'll get people in here, and as soon as I hear them on my head, I'm like, damn, this dude's got a good voice. You know what I'm saying? And then I hear mine, and I was like, mine sounds all raspy and flat, But I feel like everyone is always very like judgmental of their own voice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of my biggest things is my accent. Although it doesn't sound like it, I know when it comes out.
I could hear that every time.
Yeah,
but it's dope. I like it.
I know when it's there, and I don't. Sometimes it. Like when I have a guest that speaks perfect English, I can tell how I talk versus how they talk, and I have to do so much more edits on mine that I have to do on them.
There's no perfect English, bro.
No, but like there's more. Some people have more fluidity.
There's no fluidity. It's like how can I say?
I think so.
No, there's not. It's like, for example, like.
I feel like I think so because I edit a lot of people talking.
No, but it's not that. It's like maybe because it's America, so people tend to prefer maybe a certain type of like English. But I don't think there's really any perfect like language or fluidity.
No, everyone has their own style.
Yeah, and this one makes it unique, I just tend to, I mean, this is me.
Yeah.
This is more me. It's not even like everyone. I think it's me. Just like, I don't think there's no perfect language. I just think every language is beautiful. And when people speak, even the one that struggle to speak English, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like just a different accent. It's beautiful. That's what makes it unique, So for me, it's like as long as you're speaking the languages, you're pronouncing the words properly, it's perfect in your way.
Yeah.
Because you got an accent. Because you're bilingual. You speak Spanish. You speak other languages. But if I only speak English, then of course after time, naturally,
Yeah.
I'll be good at English and adapt to the English way of European.
Yeah.
But for you, I mean, you're American, of course, and you speak Spanish. So there's times where you switch up your language, you speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So because of that, somehow, because I speak, yo hablo un poco español. I speak Afrikaans, ik praat net een beetje Afrikaans. Swahili, nasema Swahili. And I was actually learning Hindi. Yeah. I can only say one thing in Hindi. Mary Bandi.
You know, what I've noticed when I focus more on Spanish, I lose a little English, and then when I focus a lot on English, I lose a little Spanish. It's always like a really hard thing to keep balance. You know what I'm saying? Because you have your mind can't like split half. It has to like fully grasp that one, and then get enough of that, and then go to the Spanish, and then get more, and it's just kind of like a constant.
Yeah.
You know, because lately I've switched my music style from English to Spanish.
Yeah.
Because I've realized that my audience in Spanish is a lot bigger. All the music that I've made up until like the last few years was mainly focused in English.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever wrote a full Spanish song and put it out, it like the numbers went like 6 times.
Of course.
More than any song that I've ever written in English. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, I was like, I've been wasting my whole time trying to talk to people in English.
You're not wasting it. The reason why I say so is because artists that can speak 2 languages, they reach more audience than one language.
People have said the same thing about the podcast. They've asked me to bring more Spanish speakers.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard to be a multi-language platform because it's kind of like being bilingual.
Yeah.
When I'm gonna lose people all the time.
I mean,
because you come on the podcast, there might be some guy that doesn't understand shit and like, oh, I'm tired of this. Unfollow. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. If I bring someone in Spanish, there's gonna be someone in English like, unfollow. You know what I'm saying?
So, you're right, but you tend to reach more people with English than Spanish. But like I say, if you want to make it into Spanish, call for it. You know, if that's where your heart is and you can reach your Spanish audience.
Do you know?
Yeah, but you're also doing yourself a little bit of disservice to the other side of people that can speak Swahili and English, French and English, Spanish and English, and some other African language and English, because English is worldwide. That's why most rappers that rap in English, they're known all around the world. And most people that rap in Spanish, they're mostly known in Hispanic countries. So it's like you don't want to do yourself the disservice. I'm not saying don't rap in Spanish. Rap it because I like the beat, I like your flow, I really like it. But also try to reach out to as much people as you can. And English is mostly the way.
Yeah. It just hasn't, like I said, the numbers are not there though. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because my girl told me that I don't sound as natural in English than I do in Spanish. And I think that has to do with the delivery, because like I said, in English, since it's not my first language, I feel like I have to put more work into it. And when I write in Spanish, it's just easy.
Just easy.
It just flows. My voice is even different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because initially, my voice wasn't Spanish.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to use my voice in English. But for some reason, when you write music and you try to say words in rhythm, it's a lot different when it's not your foreign language. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a bigger struggle to try to get your tongue to do what it needs to do on beat, versus Spanish. It's just like it goes. It just flows.
Do Spanish then. Yeah, go for it. Like with the numbers they add, do it. And then maybe in the future then you can always want to switch it up.
I was gonna ask you, do you know, do you know what your audience is? Like, what demographic?
Demographic. Most people that follow me and actually comment are mostly black people.
Yeah.
You know, I got a huge black audience, and I mean, obviously because I'm black, so they can actually relate with me easily. I do have Caucasian people also, a huge number over them. You know, so but yeah,
I think you will. I mean, I think everyone's always gonna have a mixture, but I'm starting now that I've been putting out more Spanish. I'm starting to see a lot of like
Spanish people.
a lot of Mexico people from Mexico following me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do it.
Yeah.
You know, like at the end of the day, it's like what's working for you. You know, don't change it. You know, if you see, it's like when I started doing content, I was tasting the water. You know, it's like I post, let's say, there's 5 videos and see how people respond to it. You know, every time I put on like my artwork, I put it out there, I see how people respond to it. People are like, cool by now, not my thing. Then I'm like, okay, well, then that means that doesn't work. So let me try something else.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you tried English and it wasn't working, and you try Spanish is working, then try more Spanish, you know, and see how far you can go with Spanish, you know. But the thing is that I just want you to limit yourself. By the end of the day, yeah, do it, you know.
What is your approach to content creating?
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Like, do you have an approach? Like when you're making a video, do you have a plan for it, or do you just make? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, for example, I don't watch TV as much, so it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of more like
when you make your dance videos,
yeah.
are they planned? Or are you just setting up a camera and saying I'm gonna have some fun and let's see what comes out?
To an extent, you know, to an extent. It's like every time I post with stuff that I really listen to. Like, let's say today I'm listening to Elvis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love the song. It resonates with me. I can express it as an artwork. I'm not a good dancer. I'm not like, you know, break dancing. I'm not that guy, but I can pose.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, let me try putting it into a pose. Let me try a play.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a love song and I can connect to my audience. And then let's say the next time I'm driving, I'm listening to Sajava. He's an South African musician. When I listen to him, it's really powerful. So I'm like, wow, I love the song. And as I'm driving, my brain is like playing, what can I do with a song? You know, especially in posing.
So like coming up with ideas.
That's it, yeah. So I rely mostly on music. So it's like I get inspired by music. Every time I hear a song, I'm like, whoa, that's gonna be a good song for this. Or I'm working out and then I hear this, like whenever I work out, I always put on Machiavelli motivation.
Yeah.
And what they'll say is what motivates me. And then I'll be like, wow, in the next video, I might use this voice because it motivates me.
Yeah.
So I tend not to step out of my comfort zone, like, let's say, try to do what you do.
Yeah.
I just tend to get motivated in stuff that I hear or stuff that I see, and I just try to put it in my own form.
So your content's very audio motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Audio and visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, audio and visual,
Yeah, because it sounds like I feel like you get your inspiration from audio, not necessarily music, but also
the audio.
podcasts, and then you start to create your visual representation.
In my head.
Yeah, okay.
Because I live in my head a lot. I don't lie to you. It's like I was saying, every time when you're speaking, my brain is like imagining you, like when you talk about writing in English and in Spanish, suddenly my brain is like thinking of you rapping with the audience of Latinas.
Yeah.
Like it's just happening. And then when you're rapping in, for example, like when you're talking about, when you're rapping in English, I'm already imagining a black audience and a white audience, they can actually understand you. You know, that's how my brain works. So every time you talk, it's like I got a graphical memory. It's like I'm imagining this. You know, you're speaking, I'm listening, and I'm like imagining it as it's happening. Yeah.
Right. I got you. I feel like that's how it is. When I write music, I have to listen to a beat.
Yeah.
The beat kind of tells me what words to put. You know what I'm saying? And then I write. Once I write one word, it's just like a snowball of ideas, and then the song's done.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? And then once the song's done, the video starts to come in my mind.
That's
You know, and they're like, oh, this could be shot over here. I could be doing this. So
Yes.
it's like it's definitely. I feel like music definitely has like a spark to like
idea.
trigger a lot of ideas.
Man, music is powerful. Music is powerful. Like, for example, the fact that you're good at rapping, you have a huge responsibility on people's lives.
That's one of the reasons I don't want to rap.
It is, because, bro, it's really, it's powerful. I won't lie to you, because with the first time I heard the song from Bobby Smurdish, the one that went viral, hot, whatever, I don't want to say the word, but that beat and the words, bro, man, it's like I want to go on the streets and start fighting, man. It's like, bro, like for real, like I work out to that song like almost every
Yeah.
day because of the beat. It's like it transforms you,
Yeah.
you know, and that's because I listened to it when I was a kid.
Makes you aggressive.
That's it, you know. So, for example, like you as a musician, if you're really good, because Ben, I'm hearing your flow is real good, means that your music is gonna be next level. So, when kids hear it, the word get influenced. If the beat is pulling, and then are your words,
That's
man, that's power.
what. So now that I'm older, I there was a time where there's a few. If you go back like 7 episodes
Yeah.
on my podcast, there was a girl that I had on here who she's known me since I was in high school, and she asked me, she's like, "So are you doing music anymore?" And I told her, I was like, "No, I'm done." I told her I was done on that podcast. I said, "I'm done. Like I'm done with music," and she asked me why, and I told her I was like, "I just don't want to be that guy no more. I don't want to be." And the reason I said that is because at that time I was going through a lot of bad stuff, and what I was putting out was bad.
Oh, it's energy.
You know what I
It's
mean?
energy.
But it was bad energy, and like my daughter knew all my songs,
Yeah.
and I didn't like her. I still to this day I'm better at writing my music now and keeping it more on the better positive side.
Yeah.
But even I feel like when it comes to hip hop is known for that being aggressive.
Aggressive, yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you don't provide that in hip hop,
Yeah.
it doesn't do as good.
Yeah, you know that, because you gotta realize that people are hurt. You know, people are in pain.
Yeah.
The same pain that you felt when you're writing that song, someone else today is going through it.
Yeah.
So when they hear your song, it's like a click. They resonate with it. It's like, oh my God, it feels me. I understand him. And that's because you're writing because you're in that pain. And you're feeling up the pain and you're pulling them in.
Yeah.
You see?
But sometimes that energy can come back to you in a bad way.
I mean, yeah.
Like especially like, you know, like when I had Mafia on the podcast, like his music is very street driven,
yeah.
very street driven. You know what I'm saying? And in my head, I imagine I'm like, that's the hate that I'm gonna get back if I did that type of music. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm talking about shooting people,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get shot.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's the energy that you put out there.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
so like as I grow older, I'm like I can't be talking about that stuff. Like I gotta figure out a way to still continue to make music, but not put myself in danger. You know, so like my best resolution is to write love music or love songs or breakup songs or
But the question is like, are you a lover boy? Are you?
I feel like I have a good experience to provide what men go through in relationships.
Yeah, but that's different than making love songs.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, like you see some rappers when they talk about killings and all that stuff. You know, about I'm coming after you. It's a strong emotion because even babies when they're born, they get angry. If you don't feed them, they just get angry. So we're like animals. So we're prone to emotions. So it's like, if you rap about, for example, like something that you're naturally just good at, and you got the image. For example, the first time I met you, my vibe with you, you gave me more of like more like a street guy, like a hardcore boss dealer. It is. This is the vibe that you gave me. You never gave me like that lover boy type.
That's I've always had that, but that's because that's just how I look.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that you can also use it with your music, and
Yeah.
that's why it's easy for you to sell a certain image. You
Yeah.
know, for example, like yeah, it is like, for example, I consider myself as a comedian because I'm not really a comedian. You know, I don't look like a comedian. So if I sell it, people be like, "Man, you're trying too hard." You know, but I can sell like a serious movie, like an action movie. People be like, "Wow, I mean, I can see like an action movie or like a bad guy." Because I felt that raw to a certain extent because it's emotional with me, you know. So same thing as you with your music, you kind of like you want to sell what works for you. You know, you want to step out of your zone, out of your line. Because when you step out of your line, people notice it and won't really resonate
Yeah.
with it, you know?
I feel that's kind of the reason why I write the music I write, and I try
Yeah.
to stick to like making love songs and or not necessarily love songs, but like songs about women because
Yeah.
I feel like that's my lane.
You've been heartbroken a couple of times?
Been heartbroken. I like women. I like, you know what I mean. It doesn't even. It's not even that I've been heartbroken. It's just like I like women. I you know, and it's just like I feel like I'd rather talk about that than talk about some dirt. You know what I'm
Facts,
saying?
facts.
And put kids in, like, I don't want kids to look up to me in a way that it's gonna get him in trouble or get him hooked on other shit. Because I'm just because I talk about females and I have this lover boy persona doesn't mean that I haven't been in the street or in the dirt. You know what I mean?
True, but why do you talk about females though? Like,
Because
what
it
do
just,
you talk
I don't
about?
know, it just comes out natural. Like when I hear a beat,
Yeah, but what do you say about females?
anything, bro.
Like what?
It could be a song about a breakup. It could be a song about how beautiful a girl can look. You know what I mean? I could be a dog. You know what I mean? It
What do
just
you mean be a dog?
like I could be a dog in the song. Like I've been a dog. I've been a player. I've been a lover boy. I've been faithful. I've been unfaithful. You know what I'm saying? So like I can pick what song. Like I have a song called Player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying that I'm a player, and
Of course,
but the song's saying like she thinks I'm a player, and then I in my verse I'm like asking her, is it the dimples? Is it the glasses? Is it the way I dress? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Why do you think I'm a player? That's how I'm doing my verse, you know. And then my friend comes on and he really dogs it out, like
He goes deep.
he goes deep with it. You know what I'm saying? But like when it comes to like making music about females, it could be in a whole lot of different forms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's also like I feel like there's already enough people out here talking about violence, talking about drugs, talking about street life, talking about. I feel like I could be another Mexican doing that. Because when I go to YouTube, man, and I listen to Mexican rappers, every single one that I hear
Yeah.
is talking about flipping bricks, talking about smoking weed, it's talking about shooting ops.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, where's the Mexican Drake at? Like, where's he at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Drake was one of the biggest artists because of what he talked about, because his music was able to make it into people's homes. Now, if you're only talking about murdering people, my mom's not,
You know, let you listen to that. Yeah.
or she's not gonna listen to that.
Facts.
She's gonna be like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
True.
But
True.
if I'm singing a love song, she'll be like, "Oh, I like that. That's cool. We can let it in the house."
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
And that gives you ability of. That's the reason Michael Jackson was bigger.
Yeah.
If Michael Jackson was talking about popping ops,
I couldn't even imagine that. That's
you
funny.
couldn't, but like he wouldn't have made it as big as he was. You know what I'm saying?
True. True.
Because his music was like for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You know. Yeah. I mean, that's the route to go.
Like-
That's the route that works for you. Yeah.
What's that song from Rim? Is it Remy? No, Rima. Where he's like, maybe come down. Like that song's hard, bro. And
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. The beat
that
is
thing,
sketchy.
bro.
yeah.
That it's sketchy. It's simple. It's about a female,
Yeah.
and it's major
Facts.
because it can travel anywhere. I don't even understand some of the shit he said on the song, you know. But I'm fucking singing that shit, bro.
It is. That is like the same way that I like Latino music.
Yeah.
When I go out, fuck it. I forgot his band that plays around in Kansas City. Where you saw me the last time? Dancing? With my
Record bar.
brothers.
Record bar.
That's
That's salsa night.
bro.
Salsa night is a hit.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The songs, man. It's the beat.
So salsa,
You know.
they play salsa, they play merengue, they play bachata, and
Oh,
cumbia.
I love it.
So those are all tropical Latin music, and they're all. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but there's a lot of like African essence to those. Now Mexican regional music, not the same. That's influenced by like folk music.
Pop.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, cumbia, bachata, merengue, salsa. There's like African roots in those
Yeah.
rhythms.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's normal. It's like, for example, growing up in South Africa, right? There's like, I don't really like to call them a race, but they call themselves a race of coloreds. You know, I hope I'm allowed to say this here, but it's like they call themselves coloreds. So they just more like lighter skin,
Colors,
coloreds. Coloreds.
calids.
Yeah, so it's like a colored, which is COLOURED.
That's a new word for me.
Coloreds.
Okay.
This actually how they used to call black Americans here in America. Then they stopped calling it because it was offensive. But in Africa, there's a group of people that, because the lighter skin, they came from originally.
Coloreds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they came from. I know my accent.
You're
Right?
good. You're good.
My accent is deep. And yeah, it's like when there was segregation and stuff like that, there were Africans, but now they formed their own culture around this thing called colored, and it's beautiful. It's like they have their own music. They mostly speak Afrikaans, but it's a different type of
Yeah.
Afrikaans, which Afrikaans is originated from Dutch. So because they got colonized from Dutch people. But yeah, so they formed their own unique dancing and unique culture from African to that. So it's the same thing also probably happening all around the world, even in America, when they brought them here as slaves.
Yeah.
They form everything around that culture, and they have their own different American culture, black American culture, like soul, jazz and stuff like that. When you hear the beat, is all similar to African beats. You know,
Yeah.
same thing is, yeah. So it's like somehow, I mean, no bragging, but Africans are gonna influence the world.
Dude, no, I'm not. That's why That's why I'm sharing that information, because a lot of Hispanics don't want to admit that. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's normal.
they don't want to admit that our famous music has African American or no African roots.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And but it's like important for history.
get through.
You know what I'm saying? Because once people realize what makes what, I feel like it helps with racism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then they realize like, okay, well, at least for me, my mentality, like that helped me. That helped me understand where my favorite music comes from. And it helped me understand my friendship with my friends, and like to me, it was dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people are gonna be like, oh, okay, fuck, I'm not listening to that no more because I don't. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
for like when I found out that like Mexican music, the instruments came from folk music, like that's to me that was crazy too, because I'm like, okay, so Mexican music started from other type of music too. You know what I'm saying? It's not like some people would think that we created the shit, but no, it's like a mixture of a lot of shit put together.
It's a mix of like, for example, look at, for example, hip hop, the power it had like all around the world.
Well,
In
hip
China.
hop came from disco.
Yeah,
Because they used to take breaks in disco albums where the song would have a breakdown,
like
where the song would be like do 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 do, and then
Yeah,
they'll use that little part, and they would have two vinyl CDs
Yeah.
that were literally playing that part over and over, and they would just repeat that part. And then make it a loop, and then some guy would rap over that part. But if the DJ fucked up,
yeah.
the actual song would play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so they were.
I never knew that. That's crazy.
So imagine a rock song that has like a little 5-second part where they're just playing drums. You know what I'm saying? The DJ would literally loop that part.
Oh, that part.
And then the next record would start. So So they would always buy the same record twice,
Yeah.
so they could use that
Use
simple
it.
loop.
It's a simple loop.
So when that loop stopped, this one started, and then when that loop stopped, this one started, and they would loop it, and then the rapper
DJ,
would rap over that.
Bro, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say is that like the hip hop culture, man, is like even the dressing style. Look at it in Africa. It's everywhere. You know, like even now the major artists now in Africa sending out also now jewelries.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna wear jewelries and gold teeth, cause it's a thing now. And where did it all originate from? Black Americans. You know, like the power of it. It's crazy. You know,
The influence.
yeah, the influence. You know, and even in Mexico, same thing also. You know, one of the top artists. Look how they dress. It's more American like. It's more the black culture, you know.
Yeah.
But it's funny they don't want to give the props back, you know. But I mean, I think it's normal, you know. I think people just don't want to admit it. Is because sadly Africa is losing in a way, like economic wise, and like for example, if Africa was like rich like the Wakanda, then people would be extremely proud to be like, yo,
Yeah.
this is where I came from. But because they're not really winning like that and they're being exploited by everyone around the world, and no one want to be by the losing team, you know. Everyone want to be by the team that's winning, you know. So they tend to like, oh no, not from there. We made it from our own.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think everyone's kind of prideful. Like when Mexican, like being Mexican doesn't mean that you're Mexican.
yeah,
It just means that you're born in Mexico.
yeah,
Because Mexico is a melting pot of different races. There's black Mexicans.
Yeah.
You know, from the release of slaves into Mexico. That's actually why the Mexican War started
okay,
with America, because Mexico was freeing slaves.
yes,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
remember that,
So
yeah.
there is black Mexicans. There's not as much. There's a lot of like French, Italian mixed with Indians down there when they came and fucking killed all our people. You know what I'm saying? Because the original Mexicans were the Indians, Aztecs, Mecca. You know, all them. So like when people think about what a Mexican is, it's like we're all mixed now. Like if I had a DNA, bro, there'd be crazy amounts of fucking different races in you. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Versus Africa, I feel like Africa's still more pure.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Africa is also fighting against tribalism, you know. So
Okay.
it's like my tribe don't mix with your tribe don't
Really?
mix with my tribe. Yeah. So for example, it's like
It's like gangbanging.
yeah, it's like
It's like gangbanging.
it's like a Mexican and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be
We're-
like,
we're
we're
de-
not the same,
We're
but
we're dealing with that right now.
yeah, but you can kind of tell that you guys kind of look the same in a way. But same thing as African people, like you get Zulus and Xhosas.
Yeah.
You can't really, when you go there, you won't be like, oh, you're Zulu, you're Xhosa. You'll be like, oh, they're black. But because of tribalism, they want to separate themselves from each other, you know?
I feel like Puerto Ricans and Dominicans are more, not all of them, but a lot. They're more African based.
Yeah.
I feel like we're more
Why so?
European based.
Also.
Because they are, bro. Like when I went to New York, well, this is New, but like Dominicans, there's a lot more black Dominicans than like European Dominicans.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like Mexicans, we have more like white jeans type of Italian,
You mean you just lighter skin?
lighter skin. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but there was a video that I was watching about this girl was talking about how Puerto Ricans don't want to admit that they're black, that their genes are black.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're Puerto Rican. No, there's a reason why you look the way you look. You're mixed. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying about Mexicans too.
So it's like, okay, for me, when people are denying to be black, let them deny it.
Yeah.
You know, like when people deny it, I'm good. Deny it because I love being black. I love who I am. I love my people. I think that my skin is good. I love when I see a beautiful black woman. I'm impressed. I love that. You know. So if a person doesn't want to be black, good. Don't be black.
Right.
You know, like it's for me. It's like I won't put it on you. I don't need to put it on you. If you deny it, cool, deny it. But
There's
I'm proud of it.
yeah, there's Mexicans like that too. There's Mexican like there was one time I walked into Home Depot, clearly could tell this woman was Mexican. Spoke to her in Spanish. She spoke to me in English. She responded to me in English, and I could barely understand her.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I responded to her in Spanish again. I was going to give her another try.
Yeah.
And she responded to me in English again. And her English was bad. But I felt like she got offended because I initiated with how she looked.
So she looked, yeah.
And she forced the English on me. But in my head, I'm like, you're embarrassing both of us here.
Yeah.
Because we can both speak really clearly in Spanish, and we could have a better conversation in Spanish. But because you want to be identified as an American,
Yeah.
you want me to speak to you in English? So I just looked at her and I was like, okay. And I just gave it to her.
It is.
And I was like,
So,
why
yeah.
though? Like, why?
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, we should, like, how can I say, like, my ideology is more like you said, the lady you don't want to speak in Spanish when she clearly can speak Spanish, then it's cool. Speak to her in English. If she's embarrassed of her, doesn't want to admit that she's Hispanic, then it's on her.
Yeah.
Like, for my thing is, like, even as black people, if I meet a black Dominican and it's like, oh, I'm not black, he's Dominican, good. That's good. Stay there. Because I'm proud of being black and African. Man, I don't know, man. I just grew up in a house that's prideful. We love Africa, man, because I've been to 8 countries in Africa, and I love it, and, bro, like, being African is like, for me, in my opinion, it's a blessing.
That's how Mexicans are too. There's a difference between Mexicans and Mexican Americans.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Mexican Americans don't.
You guys are so prideful.
Yeah,
I've seen you got your flags in your cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You stop listening to your music. You go there, you play your music. You don't want to mix it up with anything
But there's
else.
even Mexican Americans who wave the Mexican flag and still don't feel like they like Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? They don't like Mexicans.
But you gotta realize that
It's like they like the culture, but they don't like the real Mexican.
it's self-hate.
Yeah.
So it's like, for example, let's say that they want to meet you, and I didn't like you for no reason. I'm like, I don't like you. It's kind of more like there's something about me that I don't like that I saw in you. That's why I don't like you. You don't need to do anything to me. I just don't like you because of something of myself that I know.
Right.
So it's more like itself. So for example, a person that can accept the culture but doesn't want to be identified with that culture, it's self-hate. They don't love themselves that much. They're drawn to it. I love the song, it's beautiful, but I just don't want to identify with it. But because it's self, you're fighting yourself.
Yeah.
You're hating yourself. So that's why, like I say, I can be in a Mexican restaurant anyway. I just love the experience and I love the people. I like people that are pride. That are prideful. They love themselves. They love being who they are.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's beautiful, man.
Have you ever dated outside of your race?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
He said I did.
Yeah, I did.
How was it?
I mean, it was beautiful, It's like, yeah, it is. Because it's like, I believe in just being open-minded. I like being open-minded to people's new experiences.
Yeah.
For example, like, I mostly dated, like...
How did your mom take it?
My mom, she never knew. She only knows now. My mom thinks I don't date. For real. My parents, I don't believe in dating. Oh, no, they believe in marriage. Yeah, like...
See, remember I told you?
Yeah.
Mexicans feel the same way.
It is.
As soon as I bring someone to my house, my mom's official.
Oh, yeah. I try that. Oh, man, my mom complained.
Yeah.
This house is not a brothel. This is a house of God. Like, man. So I never brought rumor to my...
Growing up, I had a hard time because all my friends would bring their friends that were females to the house and hang out. I could never do that.
Yeah.
Couldn't even do that because even at 18, if a female was on my house, we're getting married.
That's it. You see, but I mean, it's good that parents are like that. It's really good, because
tradition.
Yeah, it's fun to date. but it gets to a time where there should be like a limit.
So
Okay.
I haven't had a good luck in the dating scene. That's why I said I'm pretty good at love songs and shit
Also,
like that.
also.
Because I just have I feel like I grew up with, you know, I have my mom and my dad. They've been married since I was born.
Yeah.
I've seen them go through their lowest. I've seen them come out of it. I've seen them grow into what I've seen them grow into who they are now based on their struggle.
Yeah.
So I in my mind, I've always known that whoever I stick with, I'm sticking with them, regardless of what we go through. When I had my child, her mother has never seen what I've seen with her parents. She never even knew her. Her father died when she was 3. Her mother went through multiple men. So her mentality was, as soon as it gets hard, it's time to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm better off by myself.
True. True.
So that's why that didn't work. She left.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
You gotta ask yourself, like, you know, one thing I realized about life is, it's different as a man. You know, it's like, you attract what you are. So every person that you dated, it's what you were at the time. So
I must be thick because I attract thick women, boy.
Thick? Yeah. But you see, that's it right there. It's the energy, you know? It's the energy that you have that thick women are like, you know, I kind of like this dude. He's pretty cute. And, you know, and you're comfortable in that zone because it's the energy you put
I
out
like
there.
thick women, man. I don't like skinny.
You don't like skinny?
Nah.
So you're discriminating against skinny
I'm not
women?
skinny. I'm leaving it up to those who do. It's not my job.
You're funny.
You know,
Funny.
somebody else's job.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone got their own, like, what they prefer.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more like it's just what my dad told me is that as a man, you can be with any woman, and you gotta be able to lead. And when you lead, she will be submissive. Even if it's a woman that's stubborn, if you can lead, they change.
Yeah.
She'll change for you because you know where you're going. Maybe at the time, you didn't really ever go. You know, maybe at the time, you're just like going with it because you say you're working.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like.
Well, the thing is, like, a man, I get what you're saying. A man is definitely the lead and should be, because the man is the structure.
Yeah.
Right? When the man breaks,
The whole house breaks.
the whole house breaks.
Yeah.
And but it takes a strong female, to believe in that man, and not leave that man when that man is not doing the best. And I saw that with my mom and my dad. Right. I saw my mom held my dad down, and that's why, you know, they've always worked. That's why I've always had that mentality that I'm sticking through it no matter what.
True.
But the females that I've picked they don't have that example. You know what I'm saying? So so they couldn't see it how I saw it, because I would be like, no, this will get better. You just gotta wait. Nah, they don't want to wait.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You see, there's a problem. People don't need to wait. It's like you gotta give people a vision. You gotta give a reason a person to stay. You know, you can't just be like, because my parents were together. Because I also grew up in the same family with my mom and dad. My dad was like 18. My mom was like 15 when they got married. Can't really hope it was, because you'll probably get in prison right now. But it doesn't. But to this day, they're still together and they're married. And this is what I saw, right? So whoever I date, I still kind of have that mentality, but I have to realize something is that you have to be a leader. You got to let them, like, everyone gives up. You know, you got to realize that women are emotional, you know. So if you're not really that stable, you can handle it. To them, they can't handle it. For them, it's the end of the world because they're emotional, you know. So you got to, like, put that security on her, like, secure her and be like, listen here, we got this. This is what's going to happen. But if you're also just going through the flow, you know, she gets lost and you don't really direct her, the relationship just falls down.
Some women don't want to be directed, though.
Everyone want to be directed.
They do, but, like, in a certain way.
They're like,
and there's a certain point where you have to let her choose what she wants.